Hello everyone, welcome to another Atlan video. This one is gonna be the pet review that everyone has been waiting for. What pet is good? Is this good? Is that good? Or is that good? I've been listening to those questions the whole stream today, so I wanna give you some answers so you guys can relax and pick the pet that you wanna use. Okay, so we have two new pets. It's Agumon and Gatomon. To not make this video too confusing, I will just start with Agumon first to show you the whole comparisons and my opinion about Agumon, and then I'll switch to Gatomon, do the same thing for them, and at the end I'll have the conclusion telling you should you pull for this, should you get it, what type of player should get this, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's start with Agumon. So he has at level 3 damage to debuff 3.6%, base HP. His level 1 I can check. So at level 3 he gets this bonus that is enhanced finisher, gets plus 2.5% more bond damage bonus, doubles it pretty much. Increases assistive attributes, which is this. Alex safe zone, so it just warps the Digimon to Wargreymon when you're standing AFK somewhere in a safe zone. Now let's go to the skills. Terra Force. It's the ult. It has 40 seconds cooldown, which is very huge for, let's say, if you're a queen raid and you just burst at her, she teleports away, and she goes into the mechanic where she locks HP and she spawns something, you know. And usually what happens during that this mechanic goes through quite quickly and you end up hitting the boss again, but your cooldowns of your pets are not back up. And by the time they're back up, the boss is into the next phase and locks the HP again, so you can't actually utilize your fox buff that well. So this helps with that, to have it up more often and more favorable conditions during raids. And it also does not disappear like the fox. If you get hit by the fox shield, which gives you the 16% damage bonus, if it disappears during getting hit, you are going to lose the buff. So that's also something that it does better than the fox. So overall, a really good ult, a low cooldown, 5% damage bonus, and it does also damage. Next, Agumon enables the master attack to inflict disintegration for 10 seconds. Disintegrated enemies take up to 4.3% more damage. It's probably 4%, not 4.3. That's probably a small mistranslation. Now, what does this do? If you auto attack, if you use skill, ult, whatever it is, you apply this disintegration debuff. This is a debuff which activates anything that has damage to debuffed. So if you have the damage to debuff stat, the moment you apply disintegration, the damage to debuff stat starts working. So for classes that have no debuffs, can't really use the damage to debuffed buffs themselves because they don't have any debuffs. This pet allows you to tap into that multiplier, which is pretty nice. That's really nice to have like the permanent debuff damage active with this pet. Now, next skill. Agumon support. Agumon grants the master an all attribute damage bonus for 18 seconds upon entering resonance. Resonance. So basically you enter resonance for 18 seconds to get this all attribute damage. Next. Agumon helps the master deal additional damage to bosses and debuffed enemies, 4 and 4, so 4% each, which is also really great. It's a separate damage multiplier, but those two are added together because they're damage 2. So overall, looks really good. So let's see what are the numbers talking actually. So I'll show you some passes. So we have the Agu and Gato pass first. Okay, so let's see this one. 1.41 billion damage, 15.7 million DPS. Was the pass is done on the mech. So next we have the Agu and Tatsu pass, which is this one. 1.424, slightly higher, but this can be just rotation difference. It's not a big enough difference for me to say, oh, this is better, this is worse. It's pretty much the same. Then we have Agumon and Cat. 1.627, 18 million DPS. This is clearly way better because Cat is broken. Then we have Fox and Agumon. 1.446. Again, the difference is very, very, very small, which doesn't make me think that there's like a huge gap between those pets, like between Gatomon, Agumon, Fox, and Tatsumaki. They work better for some classes. For some classes they don't do that well. It depends what class you play. Some pet might perform better. Like Agumon can help a class that is struggling with resonance to get into resonance faster, and that way to maybe get better burst opportunities, burst openings. It can be really good for quite some classes. So I do think Agumon overall as a pet is really valuable. It gives you the option to be able to abuse damage to debuff stat even if you're not applying debuffs yourself due to disintegration, but only damage to debuff. You can't abuse Scorch or whatever that is because you don't apply the Scorch itself. It has to be just any debuff, which disintegration does cover. Besides that, as you've seen on this, they almost all do the same damage. It's just about what you prefer, what fits your rotation more, what is safer to play during raids, which I say Agumon and Gatomon definitely play way better during raids than Fox. I personally use Fox for passes on the dummy right now because of the cooldown reduction, but the moment I fix my build, I change some stuff and get more cooldown reduction, I most likely will just stick to Agumon usage on everything. I've had people tell me Agumon increased the damage. Some people told me Agumon didn't do anything. It depends on your class, depends on your stats, depends on your cooldown, because if you lose 70 cooldown reduction and you have no other way to gain some cooldown instead, then yeah, you might most likely lose some damage, right? Or do just the same damage. But overall, Agumon is a really good pet. I do think a lot of people are gonna gain damage by getting this pet compared to Fox, especially in raids. Now, let's get to the cat. To the free-to-play cat, which is Gatomon. So, Gatomon is the pet we can get for free, one copy for free, another copy from the battle pass, and the third copy you have to gamble for. Gotcha. So, let's see. Celestial Arrow. Super Digivolves into Angel Woman and shoots a Celestial Arrow to the Master or the ally with the highest damage output on the battlefield to activate Divinity Potential. Grants a damage bonus and gradual HP recovery. 5% damage bonus for 20 seconds. And it has 40 seconds cooldown. So, you can cast it on self or teammates. So, this is like a supportive opportunity for people that just want to focus on support. 5% damage bonus for 20 seconds on your biggest damage dealer is quite nice. It's definitely noticeable. But you only can do this, I think, when you have level 3. Now, next. Gatomon Assistance, the Master deals additional damage to enemies. 3% additional damage. Simple. Gatomon protects the Master by providing damage rest and damage bonus. For 30 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Each stack runs 1.2 damage bonus, 1.5 damage rest. and 1.5 damage bonus. So this is pretty nice. 7.5% damage bonus right there, permanently active. I tested it myself, it's always active, never down, really nice, consistent damage buff. And then Gatomon Divine Ring contains powerful energy, blah blah blah. Damage to boss 5%, damage to mech 2%. So you will see I'm testing this on the mech. So Gatomon has the small advantage of having the damage to mech here. Let's see the tests. Let's start with Gato and Tatsu. So you see this 1.42. Again, not a big difference compared to Agumon. 1.7 million DPS. Then we have Fox and Gato. 1.464. Again, around the same damage as Agumon. Not a big difference, but again, you have the 2% mecha damage that is doing some work here. Small work. Then we have Gato and Cat. So Gato and Cat 1669. Slightly higher, most likely because of the 2%, but again you can see Gatomon is actually not a bad pet. A lot of people would have thought that because we get it for free, because it's in the cheap battle pass, that it's gonna be bad. But they did actually give it quite good stats, very good ult, good passives overall. And it's actually a very well-rounded pet, very easy to use. It's not like a skill you have to use, you just pop the ult, you get buffed, or your teammate gets buffed. You have constant damage buffs. As you can see, this is always active, always active, always active. Like everything is always active. This one has really good uptime. It's almost always active, like 50% uptime. So this pet is very consistent, very easy to use, and cheap. It's definitely something I do recommend for free-to-play players to go for. It's just a really nice pet and it is cheap. You get one for free. If you wanna spend 10 bucks to get another copy, you can do that, and then you just have to try and pull for the last one, and you'll have a really good pet that will help you a lot and boost your damage, especially if you're someone that is using the bat right now, or the cowboy, or the Goatalope. If you're one of those players that is using those pets right now, you definitely want to get this one. Definitely, especially because you get it for free. So getting some copies for this to make it stronger, definitely a good option. But overall, to my conclusion about those two pets, I think the devs are trying the best to not make Fox users feel bad about pulling for the Fox. From what I see in China, they just keep power creeping one pet after another. In the West, they have not really done any power creep. From what I see, all the pets are around the same damage. The only difference you can have is the cooldowns of the pets, what they do. Maybe some stats fit some classes better, maybe some classes want the damage debuff, other classes want the attribute, other classes want the crit, or whatever it is. So to me it feels like you just pick whatever pet fits your class more and you go with it. The pets do around the same damage, marginal difference of maybe 5% depending on your class and usage. And obviously about the rates, Fox has the massive disadvantage of this ult. If you get hit once, you lose if you get hit and you lose this shield, 16% damage bonus is gone, which is really huge. It's a huge loss. This makes the Fox way worse than the other pets in fights like raids where you can get hit and lose a lot of your HP. especially in the recent content we have been getting, like Hamlet. There's no way you will not get hit on that guy. That guy is fucking annoying. So yeah, I think this guy most likely the best option for most players. And if you actually are down to spend money or farm a lot and sell all your gold to get this guy, I think this pet is also very, very good. I myself will be using this one. I have to just adjust my stats a little bit to get more cooldown reduction, and this one is gonna be really good for me, especially in raids. It's gonna be feeling really good to not care about the shield, just use Agumon skill and just pump damage, you're chilling. But yeah, overall, W pets, both are good, both are useful. So that is definitely something you guys can decide yourself if you want to do this. You can definitely just stick with a fox. If you have a level 3 fox, you don't want to spend money, you don't want to waste your gold, and you're like, okay, I'll wait for the dragon. You can do that. You will not like miss out on some insane pet, because those two pets are not like insane. They're just good, comparable to the fox, just have a different gameplay, lower cooldowns, and have their own gimmicks. But yeah, overall, this is my pet review. I hope this helps you decide if you want to get those pets or you don't want to get those pets. Again, it depends on the class how they will perform. There can be like a small difference of maybe 5% depending on the class, depending on your stats. So maybe I will tell you this and this pet does more damage than that one, but you test it and you get a different result. That is completely possible. I tested it on Starbreaker, so it's a little bit different than if you test it on a different class. But yeah, thanks for watching all, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.